Hi folks, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be drawing Ariana Grande, and I'm going to be doing this portrait on my Strathmore Toned Gray paper using just a black and a white colour pencil. I'm also going to use a kneaded eraser and a few blending stumps, but all of the supplies will be listed in the description box below. I'm also going to be announcing the 2 winners of the 500 subscribers art giveaway, which I told you about a couple of weeks ago. So if you entered into the draw, make sure you watch till the end of the video to see who the winners are. If you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up, comment and consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the bell icon too if you want to be sure not to miss a video and you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload. I'm now uploading twice a week on this channel, so that's a Tuesday and a Friday, and I really appreciate all your support. It makes a huge difference and means a lot to me. Now, if you saw the Draw With Me video that I uploaded last Thursday, you'll know that I used just a black and white colour pencil to add value and contrast to a drawing of a person's eye. If you didn't see that more real-time step-by-step tutorial, then I'll link it up in the card above so you can go and check it out if you want to. In this video though, I thought I'd take it one step further and use those same tools and techniques to draw a full portrait. So like I did for my eye study, I began by drawing a light outline sketch in pencil onto my grey sketch paper. I lightened my sketch using a kneaded eraser, and before I went in with my black coloured pencil, I did spend a few minutes studying my reference picture. I do this to help me to determine exactly where the darkest and lightest areas are in my drawing, which helps me to know not only where to start with my black pencil, but also which areas to leave for adding white pencil and highlights later on. So with the sketch down and observations made, it was time to make a start. If you haven't seen my Draw With Me video from last week, you may be wondering why I'm using grey paper and just 2 coloured pencils. What's wrong with white paper for a black and white drawing? Well, I'll give you my thoughts. If you have watched last week's video though and don't want to listen to me repeat myself, please feel free to mute the video for a few minutes. So there's obviously absolutely nothing wrong with using white paper to draw on. After all, it's something we all probably have at home or school. But often when drawing on white paper, say with a graphite pencil, there is a tendency for us to use a lot of mid-tone values without going as dark as we could or leaving areas as light as we could. Using an already mid-tone paper like this grey, however, forces us to go darker for things to be seen, and adding in a white pencil helps to really make those lighter areas stand out. The range of values we use is a lot broader, and the contrast between these darkest and lightest areas helps give our drawing depth and more realism. So of course you don't have to use grey or toned paper to get great results for realistic drawings, but if getting the right values and enough contrast in your artwork is something you find a bit tricky or would like to improve on, then this is a great exercise that might help you out. I like to start drawings like this portrait by putting in those darkest values straight away, but this is just my way, so if you prefer you can start with a white pencil, it's entirely up to you. So for Ariana's portrait here, I chose to start with my favourite part of any face, the eyes, and then I worked my way down the left side of the drawing, filling in the darkest shadows around her nose, mouth and chin. In order to get those really dark shadow areas, it's a good idea to keep your pencil nice and sharp so you can effectively cover up all the tooth of the paper. But it's important not to press too hard on your colour pencil straight away, because doing this is called burnishing, and it flattens out the tooth of the paper, making adding further layers hard and making lifting, lightening or erasing very difficult. So when I'm using coloured pencils, I try to use layers, and by adding multiple lighter layers, not only can you build up to the darkest areas in a more controlled way, but you can also lift or erase much more easily with your eraser. If you don't have a black and white coloured pencil, by the way, you can still practice this technique just by using a regular graphite pencil and either a white chalk or pastel. I chose not to use graphite today purely because on camera it can look really shiny. You can also try charcoal as an alternative to graphite or coloured pencil, so use whatever you have to hand. So once I'd finished filling in the darkest shadows under Ariana's neck and doing the same for her ear, it was time to tackle her very long and very beautiful hair. So if eyes are my favourite feature to draw, I would have to say that drawing hair has always been my least favourite, and rightly or wrongly I usually end up leaving this part till last, but I couldn't put it off anymore. So when filling in the darkest parts of Ariana's hair, the main thing I focused on, apart from the value, was the direction the hair was going in. In my reference picture, Ariana's hair is tied up into a ponytail, so getting this bit right was important, as not doing so would mean her hair looking odd, which would then ruin my attempt at creating a realistic portrait. I tend to tackle drawing hair in the same way I tackle drawing animal fur, in clumps or sections. Working on smaller sections at a time makes the whole hair process a lot less daunting, and you can continue to focus your attentions on those values. Obviously at this point I'm still blocking out my main dark areas, so once I'd mapped out the main hair sections on the top of her head, I moved on with the rest of the portrait, knowing that I would probably add more detail and further layers later on. So as well as looking at the direction that the hair is following, it's also important to look at the hair length. Ariana's hair is super long here, so I had to be careful to draw individual hairs in one long sweeping stroke for them to look realistic and natural. Mind you, that's not to say you have to copy your reference picture exactly. That would take forever and be pretty boring, but as long as you bear those 2 points in mind, you can achieve some really good results. So moving on to Ariana's shoulder now. Once I got in my darkest dark areas, I did start to add in some variation to the value of the black pencil. This meant changing the pressure being applied to the pencil, and this can be achieved simply by holding the pencil further away from the point. This can help you get some really nice gradations between the darkest dark and the grey tone of the paper. Now going back to the long lengths of Ariana's hair in the bottom right hand side of the drawing, I continue to work in sections, varying the pressure I apply to the pencil to create a range of values. It's really important when working on fine hairs to keep that pencil nice and sharp, as some of the hairs in this area were fine flyaway ones, so I didn't want them to be too thick. Now, I don't know about you, but I do usually find working in coloured pencil quite slow, and I often end up with an achy arm, so do remember to take regular breaks when you need them. That said, this portrait took just under 3 hours, which I reckon could have been doubled if I was working on white paper in the more traditional way. Let me know in the comments box if you've tried drawing, sketching or colouring in on this paper before, and what your experience with it has been. Do you like it? Or have you got your reservations and have you returned back to using regular white paper? Let me know, and let me know as well if you've tried using the toned tan paper which Strathmore also make. Now at last it's time to blend out some of those areas to give Ariana that beautiful smooth skin texture of hers. So I grabbed a small paper stump and, starting at the top of her head, used small circular movements to soften out and blend the shaded areas. This part was a lot of fun, though blending out like this can dull those darkest areas, so you may need to go back over them at the end to hype the contrast back up. If you'd rather, you can skip this blending step and go straight on to add the white pencil, but personally I can't resist blending out those pencil strokes to get that silky smooth skin texture. You can also use the coloured pencil that's been picked up on the blending stump just to add some subtle values rather than having to go in again with your coloured pencil. So with this step done, it was finally time to bring in that white colour pencil and add in some highlights. I started by mapping them out roughly first and went on to blend them in for a more even gradient towards the end of the portrait. Now I have to say, I don't think the Faber Castell white pencil is as good as some of the other white pencils I've tried, as it was quite hard to get as much contrast as I wanted. Maybe next time I'd use a Prismacolor or a Caran d'Ache luminance pencil, but on the whole I liked the result I achieved and enjoyed the process. Drawing in Ariana Grande's dress was one of my favourite parts of this portrait, and despite my not normally enjoying drawing hair, I don't think it turned out too badly, though I could probably add in a bit more contrast on the bottom section to complete the look. To complete this portrait, I went in to add final touches and details, darkening up the darks, adding in Ariana's eyelashes, and touching up any areas I thought needed it. That included smoothing out the white highlights with my pencil stump and going in and adding a few more details and dark strands to her hair, as well as using a fine eraser to lift some areas out to add some shine. So now, the moment you may or may not have been waiting for. The results are in for the 500 subscribers art giveaway here on this channel. I had a great response and I'm so thrilled and happy that so many of you liked the giveaway deer painting enough to enter the draw. A huge thank you to everyone who took part, and I hope it won't be too long before we are celebrating 1,000 subscribers so we can do it all over again. Don't forget though that both the deer painting and the fox painting are newly available on my Etsy store, so should you not be a lucky winner this time but will consider buying a signed print, then you can head over to my Etsy store Art Hive by Sarah right away and take advantage of free postage and packaging until the end of January 2019. So without further ado, the winner of the Snowy Deer signed original watercolour painting is Christine G58. Life is good. Congratulations, Christine. I'll be in touch soon to arrange sending that out to you. I really hope you enjoy the painting. And the second winner, who will receive a signed print of Fox in the Snow, is Nikki Monty. So congratulations, Nikki. I'll be in touch with you as well to arrange posting that out. I really hope you enjoy the print. Well, that's all from me today. That's all for this video. I really enjoyed this one and I hope you did too. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and join me on Friday for the next Draw With Me video, where I think I'm going to do another eye study, but this time using watercolour. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.